Are you paying attention to what's really happening in crypto right now? Because if you're not, you might miss one of the biggest shifts we've seen in years. After months of consolidation, sideways movement, and being trapped in a downtrend, Bitcoin has finally broke out of this pattern and set a new all-time high. This is the moment the entire market has been waiting for. Why? Because look what happened every time Bitcoin began a major climb. Altcoins also gained momentum and went through a significant move up. Now, if what we're seeing is the start of a much bigger climb for Bitcoin, then an alt season should follow. But we've been faked out by Bitcoin's price action a few times already. Is this current move any different? Can this really be the ultimate turning point for crypto? Well, there's something else that we've been overlooking. While Bitcoin is getting most of the attention, we're forgetting to consider the second biggest cryptocurrency, Ethereum. But why am I bringing up Ethereum right now? Well, it's not just me. The entire crypto community is sparking conversations about ETH. Don't believe me? Google Ethereum and tell me what you see. Digital moved their entire $170 million treasury into ETH. BTCS announced a $100 million ETH expansion. GameSquare Holdings joined the race with an approval to spend $100 million on ETH. Even Bitmine, a Bitcoin miner, secured $250 million to build an ETH treasury. That's not just interest, that's conviction. And these are just a few recent examples to showcase this massive shift from Bitcoin to Ethereum. On top of that, there was this news about two of the earliest holders moving almost $3 million worth of ETH to a different wallet after 10 years of no activity. And this pushed Ethereum back onto everyone's radar after a period of silence. There has to be something major going on, but why is this happening? Well, if you think about it, this shift shouldn't be too surprising, right? At some point, we're expecting liquidity to flow from Bitcoin into the altcoin market. And we understand this as a signal for alt season to begin. Ethereum, by definition, is an altcoin, and it happens to be the largest altcoin by market cap. The fact that we're starting to see large amounts of institutional money shift from Bitcoin to Ethereum would suggest that we might be at this turning point. So shouldn't we be celebrating the beginning of an altcoin bull run? Well, let's take a step back for a second. One indicator of a true shift from altcoins is the Bitcoin dominance ratio falling rapidly. For the last few years, BTC dominance has been on a strong uptrend, and this hasn't really changed. Yes, there's a bit of a pullback right now, and if you compare this to Total 3 or the total market cap of all altcoins minus ETH and BTC, it's nothing out of the ordinary, at least not yet. Every time the altcoin market went through a rally this cycle, Bitcoin dominance experienced a setback. And the last time we saw a major drop was near the end of 2024. But now compare this to what happened in 2021. The dominance ratio fell from over 70% down to 40% over a 4-month period. But we saw a severe and consistent drop month after month during this time, especially in April and May. This kicked off the altcoin bull run, which actually didn't hit a peak until almost a year after the drop started. So looking at right now, altcoins are starting to push up a bit with Bitcoin, but nothing out of the ordinary. Bitcoin dominance is falling, but also not a massive drop. Now let's circle back to Ethereum, because with all this bullish news coming out related to ETH, you'd think a big run is right around the corner. But Bitcoin dominance isn't in line with this yet. So where do we stand? Well, here are the facts. Ethereum has always set itself aside as a major player in the crypto space. This is thanks to the massive community of users and developers that was built over the last decade. Today, Ethereum is at an all-time high for tokenized assets, crossing over the $8 billion mark earlier this week. And if we're talking about DeFi as a whole, we know that Ethereum network holds the majority of total value locked up in DeFi protocols. Makes sense given Ethereum's role as a leading utility ecosystem, especially during last cycle's DeFi boom. Now, we have to think about why there is a shift starting to happen from Bitcoin to Ethereum. Bitcoin has established itself as a store of value, and institutions have been buying in similar to how they would buy up gold to increase the value of their holding, and also speculating that this asset should increase in value as scarcity increases. Ethereum, on the other hand, offers a world of dApps and functionality, programmable contracts and platforms that can be used across different sectors and use cases. To me, this shift from Bitcoin to Ethereum is an investment into the utility side of crypto. Just think about what happened in the last cycle with DeFi exploding and tons of projects being born. And the question at the end of the day is, what do we do with this information? Should we just sit back and wait to see what happens next? Or should we actively be thinking of strategies for our portfolios? I'll tell you right now, I'm definitely not sitting around doing nothing. Everything I shared with you so far is painting an extremely bullish picture for the crypto market, which means there's only a limited amount of time to act before it's too late. This actually forced me to work on my portfolio and fine-tune my strategies over time. Now, I'm not telling you what you should be doing. That's not what this video is about, and I'll never share any financial advice. This is just what I'm personally going to be doing based on my own positions and outlook of the market. So if you want to know what my plan is, then keep watching. First, a quick heads up for all the crypto traders out there. People always ask what exchange I use, but honestly, I don't just stick to one. Hacks and outages happen more often than you think, even on big platforms like Coinbase. That's why I use over 10 different exchanges, and one of my main ones is WEEX. They've got some of the lowest fees out there, and signing up only takes an email. You can check it out and learn more by following the link in the description below. And if you want early alpha and real-time market insights, then join the FireHustle VIP Discord. It's also linked down below. Just remember that none of what I share is financial advice. It's all for educational purposes only. Now hit those like and subscribe buttons, turn on post notifications, and let's get into it. So it's super easy to get caught up in all the hype and excitement on social media at a time like this. But it's important to not lose sight of your goals in the crypto market. And for most of us, it's to make it out of this market net positive and maximizing the returns on our investments. It's the main reason why anyone would even think about taking part in the crypto market. Now, we've come a long way from the bear market bottom in 2022, and it's been even longer for those of us that were in crypto from past cycles. But if we're expecting the market to push up from here, then there's still an opportunity to make small adjustments that could end up going a long way. And I'll share 3 major things that I'm personally doing myself to ensure that I'm fully prepared for what's coming next. So one of the biggest challenges I faced over the years is managing my portfolio. And what I mean by that is making sure I know exactly what I'm holding, why I'm holding it, and of course, not holding more than I need to. When the FOMO kicks in, it's very easy to start making all these moves, and before you know it, you end up holding a long list of altcoins. That's not going to help when it comes time to plan your exit. So here's a checklist that I go through with each of my positions. What am I holding? Why am I holding it? Do I still believe there's potential today? And is there a better opportunity I can rotate into instead? Asking myself these 4 questions allowed me to really shave down my portfolio over the years. And I was able to bring my list of holdings down to a more manageable number. If I start a new position, it's because I believe in the project behind the token, but things change pretty quickly in the crypto space. Project updates, team developments, it's critical to stay up to date with each project that's added to the portfolio. Some projects end up failing, and if you're not aware early enough, you could be left holding a heavy bag. So this is a mental checklist that I like to go through at least once or twice a month for each of my holdings. And yes, I've had to personally sell off positions and rotate into other assets that I believe have greater potential. If you're wondering how many assets you should be holding, there's really no magic number. I like to personally stick to 3 or 4 projects max in each area or sector of crypto. And speaking of sectors, the second major thing to consider is which areas or narratives in crypto you're allocating your funds into. So I know a lot of people don't like the word narratives. Projects get overhyped just because they fit into a narrative that's doing well. But some of these narratives are real high potential areas in crypto. For example, my biggest allocation goes into layer 1 projects because these networks are what set the foundation for everything on chain. This is where assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum belong, but there are many layer 1s out there. After this, I focus on layer 2 projects because this is where true functionality comes in. Layer 2s help expand the capabilities of layer 1s, the way Mantle does for Ethereum, for example. Other areas of crypto with a lot of long-term potential are DeFi and RWA asset tokenization. I've gone over these sectors several times on my channel, and the reason is simple. There are clear signs of rapid growth for RWA and DeFi, and many experts and major names are betting big on these narratives. Remember AI? There was so much hype with crypto AI not too long ago. And then the hype died down pretty quickly with the market. But the truth is, AI tech isn't going anywhere. It's actually getting better with time. And the crypto projects that incorporate AI into a real use case rather than just AI bot fluff will be the ones that stand out. There's also gaming, which has gone pretty quiet over the last little while, and even meme coins, which we know end up outperforming most of the market during bull runs. Of course, these aren't the only sectors to watch out for. These are just some examples that are on my own list. Keep in mind that not everyone's portfolio breakdown will look the same. It's good practice to only get involved in sectors you understand and believe in, and ones that you will keep up with in terms of news and updates. If you're looking for an easy way to stay up to date with what's going on day to day and in the crypto space, then then check out the FireHustle Discord. You can take part in daily discussions with the FireHustle team and get the latest updates and insights on the market. And finally, the third major thing I always do, no matter what, is have an exit strategy in mind. Nothing is worse than working hard on your portfolio, keeping up with your favorite projects, and making all these adjustments over time only to miss out on a profitable exit. Or worse, end up round tripping and going negative. Set your targets in advance for each of your positions. This is where the number of assets in your portfolio could become a limiting factor. Sticking to a short list of projects you believe in will make it much easier to plan your exits without feeling overwhelmed. But what does it mean to set targets? Well, I like to look at price charts for each cryptocurrency I'm holding and actually figure out where I would be happy selling. And it doesn't just have to be one single target where you sell everything. In fact, I never have a single price target. My strategy is to ladder out as the price goes up. So for example, maybe selling 20% of my holdings when the position is 50% up, then another 20% when I'm 100% up. The exact targets will depend on your personal situation and what you're comfortable with. But the reality check here is that it's impossible to sell everything at the top because no one knows where the top will be. Walking away with a profit is a win, no matter how big or small. So these are a few ways that I've been preparing for the next phase of the crypto market. There's clearly a massive shift happening right now, and while indicators aren't fully pointing to an alt season yet, these major changes that we're seeing are usually what kickstart the biggest runs. One more thing to look out for is a sign of mass adoption and retail flooding in, which I don't think that we've seen just yet. It'll be pretty obvious when that does happen. When do you think the altcoin market will have its big run? Do you even think an alt season is gonna happen soon? Leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. And just a quick reminder, this video is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. And if you want more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.